Hello, my people. I am currently in my merch, and that is why I look so hot. I know you were all thinking it, of course. Jessie, why do you look so beautiful? Thank you so much. Look at how cute! I love it so much. And if you want to support me in my music, be sure to get it. It's literally mommy and daddy. I love it so much, and it's so comfy. I have a black t-shirt version as well as the white little comfy one right here. Every single purchase supports my music videos and is super appreciated. Thank you so much. I'll give you one boob. Maybe I'll give you a second boob if you get the fictional character merch. I offer both to you. Oh yeah, if you're not subscribed, you should subscribe. Also, by the way, I'm going to be giving out Preach merch to people that follow me on Instagram. So my people, you better be on there, like my thirst traps, okay? Thank you. Alright, so hello my people. Today we're doing another ranting-esque video, and I'm going to put a written text trigger warning, but I always like to also include a verbal trigger warning, so please, if anything related to eating disorders is going to put you in a negative spot, is going to potentially harm you, I really want you to click out of this. Anything related to, you know, restriction, please just click out. Cool! Yay! I don't know how to, like, respond with that. I'm sorry. Humor is my coping mechanism. So, I'm so daddy today. Like, I'm looking at myself. I look so pretty. Okay, so I want to talk about this certain brand of TikToks as well as the TikTok trends that go along with it. To be honest, a lot of TikTok is dangerous, but I feel like because of my own personal situation I've been through, I am more sensitive maybe to this. I'm always empathetic to how the viewer might see things, you know, that's why I post thirst traps. I just know that that'll make you all gay. So, I'm an empath. I know that my thirst traps will give you guys gay panic, so I'm really so intuitive. Subscribe if you're new. This isn't really going to be about my story, but someone that has gone through this thing and sees these other people that are posting this type of content. Posting content related to having an eating disorder is something that I continue to learn how to do, and there's certain things I did in the past that, you know, could have been triggering to people, and I feel like I've really learned a lot about how to, you know, really tell my story, because I'm such an advocate for being pro-recovery, and also to do it as safely as possible for other people, because really my goal is always just to hopefully inspire someone to not fear recovery, and honestly ultimately has to be done with someone's own volition, but hopefully just seeing me be happy as a recovered human being, hopefully that can even inspire someone. I never script my videos. I feel like I couldn't talk to the camera if I wrote something out, and I hate memorizing shiz. Sorry, I want to get monetized. If you don't know, I gained 70 pounds throughout the past 2 years. There's quite a few videos on my channel about my experience. I have been recovered from anorexia for 2 years now, and it was like the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, and absolutely the thing I'm most proud of myself for. The way I am today is what I feared. With that knowledge and life experience, I hope to take away that fear and show how much more life you have after you recover. I definitely try my best when I advocate to make sure I don't bring up specifics of what I did, because I know when I was in that mindset, I read a memoir. I'm not saying who it's by. It had a lot of things this person did while they had their eating disorder, and it gives people ideas. While people have these eating disorders, you know, they develop certain routines, foods that they avoid, foods they don't avoid, and that specific knowledge can be so beyond harmful. That's why I want to put a huge trigger warning for the content I'm going to be reacting to. And also, as someone that has been through this, I want you all to know that I'm okay. I viewed all these before. Were a lot of them done without trigger warnings? Yes, which is really unfortunate for me. I'm in a better place, but you know, what if I wasn't? What if someone else wasn't? Like, it's beyond just myself. So I wanted to put a trigger warning at the beginning of this video. Anyways, let me get into the TikToks. I found a certain brand of TikTok. It's a whole subsection of TikTok content. There was one trend I saw a lot. People title it differently every time. Like this one says, abnormal things I did when I was deep in my eating disorder. And this one says, the worst things I did because of my eating disorder. By the way, on TikTok, that caption is so small under there. I feel like it's really necessary to also put it as like the title of the video. Maybe I'm being too much. My goal with this video isn't just for everyone to have to change their content because of me. It's because I think this is harmful to way more than just myself. And by the way, I'm not putting anyone's username, and I really don't want anyone to send hate to these people because I don't think that they know that they're doing something that can be harmful. I feel like these people think that they're relating and this might give someone comfort, but I think it does way more harm than good. So, abnormal things I did when I was in my eating disorder. And then there's all of these very specific things. What time they would eat, what they would do to avoid doing that, crying because of certain foods, which for someone with an eating disorder, when you hear that someone else has an eating disorder and they cry about this certain food, you're gonna avoid it. That's how it works. It's also a very competitive illness when you're in it. I think there's a difference between trying to, you know, find humor and relatability when it comes to these really hard things you go through, like depression humor is a thing, but especially with eating disorders specifically, joking about certain foods you eat because of your eating disorder gives people ideas. It's literally giving someone that already has the thoughts, the roadmap. I told you it's a competitive illness. If people don't do that one thing, they're gonna be like, well, I don't do that thing. Should I be doing that thing? There's a difference between joking, in my opinion, about depression and being like, I don't know, there's a side effect for a medication. It's like, might have issues getting out of bed in the morning, and I'm like, well, I already have issues with that every single morning. That's a pretty widespread common thing, and even if I try my best to not go into too many specifics, but especially with an eating disorder, it is so beyond harmful. And then it just started all these other videos where it's just the worst things I did because of my eating disorder. What's so sad is literally half of these did not have trigger warnings. Or if they did, they were just in the caption, like the very small caption at the bottom, and I totally missed it. Sometimes when I scroll through Instagram, I don't read the captions, but you all need to read mine. Okay, sorry. You know? And listen, I've probably communicated things poorly when I've tried to talk about my experiences. I know in my initial video, I went into a few things that I would do, and I was like, you know what? I thought about it. I don't think that I should ever go into the specifics of what I did because it's just not needed information. It's not gonna do anything to talk about certain foods I ate and didn't eat. I can't see that information doing any good. You know, I think there's a different way to bring comfort and relatability to people that have struggled with an eating disorder that does not entail of these extremely specific routines. Like, do you see where I'm going with this? Here's one, you know, trigger warning for my eaty girlies, but it's already there. It's just like you already can see the food that you are talking about, and the trigger warning is the food, basically. They know you're gonna get triggered. That's what I think they're trying to do because that's the whole clip. So there's not a trigger warning and then you see the content, and then it's just a certain food. I don't see how that's productive. I think there's a different way to joke about a traumatic thing that people have gone through without just giving this horrible information out to the internet with these specifics, especially with eating disorders, because I have been told a lot of things over DMs, like very horrible things. I don't really get triggered, but I can't help but just feel weird and just honestly, like, this alarm goes off in my head where I worry for other people that have been through what I've been through. When it's just like this 15-second video on TikTok making light of this one specific thing that this person did it kind of is normalizing it. You know, there's a popular song behind this 15-second video, and it's all of this information that is so beyond harmful. Like, there's so much irony, like, you know what I mean? I think there's ways to, again, provide comfort, make people feel like they're not alone, without going into specific things that you would do. I don't even like to think about the things that I used to do, because I don't think there's a need for it. I think acknowledging you went through something is different than going through the very specific things you did every day, those routines. Here's another TikTok. I don't know what this person has been through or if it's even related to eating disorders, but you also just never know who's gonna see your content. Me looking at myself in the mirror after not eating all day with almost 800,000 likes. And there's so many other relatable things you can make content about. Is that really something that we have to be relating to? You just never know who's gonna see your content. And you never know what you might be susceptible to. Even if you've never struggled in the past, maybe content like this will start getting the wheels turning in your head. And I know someone's gonna respond to this and be like, it's not that deep, but it is. There's so many TikToks that are trying to make not eating all day a relatable thing. And these aren't, you know, in regards to eating disorders, like eating disorders aren't even mentioned, but doesn't matter. There's so many weird relatable things we can talk about. Like, can we not? Can we not? Please and thank you. Here's another one. After not eating all day, just to eat 2 bites with a side of shiitake mushroom talking. I know it's supposed to be, you know, like they're talking so much shiitake mushroom that like she barely eats, but was it also important to mention that you didn't eat all day? I feel like someone's gonna respond to this and think that I'm just expecting the whole world to change because of me, but I think a lot more people suffer with disordered eating than they think. Even for people that have not suffered, just the constant relatable content about not eating all day can't be good. Do you think that's good? When does relatable content actually just turn these things that are really harmful into things that should be normalized and relatable? Like, do you ever see relatable content and you're like, should I be like that? You know, like everyone's relating to something on TikTok and you're like, oh, that's not me. Should I be relating to this? Do we really need to normalize not eating all day and feeling good about yourself and that being the reaction and like happy dancing in your room? Because I don't know about you, but I don't think that's everyone. I definitely don't think that's everyone. But by making it relatable content, it is normalizing this thing that can be harmful for people that have suffered, people that are young on these apps. Here's another one. Me showering after not eating all day, and then like trying to show that they're about to faint. I have ADHD. I know this is mentioned sometimes with ADHD where you just like forget to eat all day. But still, is that something that we want to make relatable? I get it. A lot of people forget, but like that's not good. And also you just never know who's gonna see that, but because that content's relatable content, there's never gonna be a trigger warning on it. And there's certain things you can make relatable content about where it's got its positives and its negatives. Yes, I agree. You should get Jessie merch. Come on, let's talk. Okay. Sorry, he's kind of attached to me. I think a lot of these people are super young and they don't realize what they're doing is negative, and I want to make a huge disclaimer. But also, I think that there should be some restrictions, some discussion about how this type of content isn't okay. And I've seen it. I've seen more people start saying within your friend groups, people just being like, I didn't eat all day, and someone else kind of saying, you know, was that necessary? And I agree. I don't think that is something that should be normalized at all. This was like the relatable TikTok post for a while. I saw so many after I saw one. Why? Like, why? Again, there's so many other weird relatable things that we've done. I don't know. Did you pretend to be a fairy at lunch? I pretended to be a fairy. I remember one time at recess, we found like a fairy crock piece and we thought the fairies were mad at us for playing fairies, like playing a fairy game and pretending to be fairies. And it was like raining for 2 weeks, so we stopped playing fairies. Maybe that's not relatable. I don't know. Maybe. Did anyone else play fairies and then get threatened by the fairies with a Tinkerbell crock? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you're new. No one's gonna subscribe. Do it. Okay. Here's a dietitian on TikTok, and this is a stitch or a duet. Oh my god, I don't know anything. I'm old. I'm very old. I listen to My Chemical Romance. Apparently that makes me old in this day and age. And this is reacting to someone else doing something and saying that is wrong from a dietitian. That is okay. That is one way of being like, hey, this type of restriction and disguising it and saying that it's healthy eating is bad. I think that is a good video to make. Or here's one. This person said, POV, you had an eating disorder and social anxiety in your teens, and now you're 24 and sat in Vegas at a bar by yourself, ordering a pizza and wine, and laughing with the bartender you just met. I like that. That's sweet. That's not going into anything they did while they had an eating disorder, but it's kind of going over this bonded experience of, oh my god, like I missed out on so many great things in life. Like now that I'm recovered, I get to do all these really cool things. There's a difference. Do you see what I mean? That TikTok made me feel really happy and hopeful and not alone in what I've been through. Like, I love seeing someone that's like, I went through an eating disorder and I also had social anxiety and this is just me thriving. Like, that's great. An important part of recovering is really trying to find your identity outside of your mental illness, and I've been trying to do that a lot. I feel like there's so much more to me, you know? I'm just so interesting and amazing. Wow. I've kept a hair color so long. This is the longest I've kept a hair color. I don't know why. Does this mean I'm boring? Or maybe this means I'm mentally stable. I don't know. I want a new color. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is I think people sharing the things they've been through and being vulnerable is such a more common thing now, and I think that's really positive. But also, you need to think about, with this very sensitive, borderline instructional information, is it necessary? You can make a video with a trigger warning, you know, what my eating disorder took from me, and that could be, you know, my hobbies, my free time, my self-respect. And that's not instructional. That doesn't make you want to engage in those activities. It's more of just a very generalized thing that people experience when they have any big consuming mental illness or addiction that just really takes over their lives, without going into exactly how people got away with lying, what they did, what foods they ate, what foods they were terrified of, because that's information that just is not necessary for the narrative and beyond harmful. It's just even more scary and dangerous when you consider the fact that a lot of those videos did not even have trigger warnings. When I share my story, I don't want to give anyone the how-to, because it's literally like an instruction manual, or it's gonna make someone feel like they should be doing that, and it's gonna make someone wonder why they're not doing it. Some people might be like, well, I'm kind of interested. You're allowed to be interested, but do we have to spread that information out there? Is it going to actually do any good besides, you know, maybe interest some people? So yeah, I don't want anyone to like get hate at all, like on any of these videos, because everyone's learning, and I don't think anyone had bad intentions. I would hope not, but I think it's, you know, just something to really think about, especially when you're making your relatable posts. Like, what are you trying to tell people is a relatable thing? Anyways, my people, this has been a really serious video. So, Daddy. I don't know. I felt like I was talking with my voice too low and it was hurting. So now I need to talk like okay. Stream preach. Mwah, mwah, mwah. That was weird. Follow my cats. I guess follow my TikTok for thirst traps. Just me shaking my little hips and doing my little dancey dance. Sometimes that's all you need in life. I hope this video doesn't upset anyone. Again, please don't send hate to anyone because of this video. I just wanted to kind of just start a conversation where, you know, what are we trying to make relatable content? What do we want people to relate to? I love my people, I love you. I promise I'll bring back some fun videos. We'll watch Gay Barbie again. That was probably one of the most iconic videos I think I've ever done. So it needs to come back. Buy the Preach merch, that would be appreciated. And new music is coming soon. Do not worry. But for now, I will just be a ranting YouTuber. The branding changes every 6 months. I'll probably be a makeup channel next week. You all support me through it. I appreciate it. I really am waiting for the day that I just become a cat mom influencer, and it's close. I see it in the horizon. I love you, but baby.